is I started getting into silver when I was like 1964, when I saw that copper tinge go around the dime. So I bought my first precious metal at 10 cents, because I started changing the copper dimes in for real dimes. And then I was buying quarters and then $50. And I still have that bag until my mother spent it. And then I was flying in Vietnam in 1972, the year Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. And I flew behind enemy lines in Vietnam to a gold mine. I was reading the maps, as a helicopter pilot, and said, "Oh, they have gold here." And so I went behind enemy lines to talk to this gold dealer. It was a little tiny Vietnamese woman with red teeth. And I said, she wanted, I think it was at $50 approximately, gold, and floated from 35 to 50 after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. I tried to get a discount. You don't do that, I know you're laughing at that one. You get a discount from a gold dealer? That's not heard of. And she told me this one word, spot. Que pasa? What is spot? But ever since then, and then I went over to Hong Kong. I bought my first Krugerrand. This is an important point for many people to understand about silver and gold. I bought that Krugerrand in Hong Kong in 1974. I had to smuggle it in. And I want you guys to hear this, because Rick will understand where I'm going with this thing. They made me smuggle it in because it was confiscated, I think in 1933 or something. And today, because of what Nixon did and the Fed and all this stuff, what Charlie Munger, who's Buffett's partner, is talking about is hyperinflation. And I think that's why the why is why you'd better start buying some gold and silver or uranium or copper, getting into things that what Jim Rickards called things that last. So with that, and one more thing is that Kim and I own no equities. We're about 95% private. So we don't own ETFs and all that stuff. We own the gold mine. So Kim and I secured a gold mine in China, the biggest gold mine in China, and they confiscated it, just like Roosevelt took the gold. So there's more to gold and silver than just what the moving average is and all that stuff, And the last thing is, then we found a gold mine in Argentina, and then Kim and I sold it to Yamana. So we don't have public shares, we have private. And I still eat Chinese food, but I'm not happy with the Chinese. So with that said, I hope I've teased your mind as to why the heck Kim and I are fanatical, gold, silver, and today a little bit of Bitcoin, simply because I don't trust the Fed, I don't trust the Treasury, and I don't trust the government. So, Rick.
Have at it, Rick.
Yeah, I mean, you've summed it up very well. I think perhaps given your history, we do need to do a little how. When you ask about why right now, I would suggest that there are 5 reasons why people need to be afraid of the maintenance of their purchasing power in conventional instruments, and why I think that gold and silver, are much more likely to do well than poorly. If I may, I'll list them. People often say to me, "Rick, when will you sell your gold?" Well, when the reasons to own it go away, the gold will go away. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think gold will increase in price. And when those reasons are satisfied, then I'll sell my gold. It's a real simple answer. So let's do them. Quantitative easing, which is a real fancy word for counterfeiting. If you issued Kiyosakis and went around and tried to spend them in Arizona or wherever you are, that would be a felony. They would plant you in a slammer. But if you were Congressman Kiyosaki,
there you go.
Then this would be a highly popular policy, something for nothing, and you would be reelected forever.
Congressman sounds good.
Listen, I'd be for it. I think you'd be a ball there. At any rate, it has been estimated that 30% of all the US dollars in circulation have come into circulation in the last 30 months. Now, clearly, this isn't to accommodate economic growth. The economy isn't 30% bigger than it was 30 months ago. There wasn't need for liquidity to manage a buoyant economy. And when you increase the supply of something without increasing its utility, of course, you depreciate the value of the existing stock. There's just no arithmetic way around this. So quantitative easing is the first reason, I think, why investors are concerned about the efficacy of their savings in conventional instruments. But it gets worse, of course. The next is debt and deficits. And this is arithmetic again, too. We have the dubious honor of having crossed $30 trillion in on-balance sheet liabilities. Admittedly, only $22 trillion net of counterfeiting. In other words, the Federal Reserve's balance sheet is $8 trillion. That was printed up. So, but let's use the 30 trillion. It's their number. But more importantly, Robert, and you and I are partly to blame, the net present value of off-balance sheet liabilities, entitlements, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, all that stuff. Not some cranky old libertarian, but rather the Congressional Budget Office suggests that the net present value off-balance sheet liabilities of the U.S. government, not state and local governments, just the federal government, is $120 trillion. That's 12 zeros, okay, after the 120. I mean, it's a big, big, big number. And we propose to service that debt with a budget that's in a deficit $3 trillion a year. I was taught as a young man, when you're in a hole, stop digging. But that is not what's happening. Many, many, many observers, Buffett included, has said, we're not going to pay this off. We're going to reschedule it. Any creditor, and I'm a creditor, who looks at a borrower, the U.S. government, that has debts that they can't service and they're continuing to refinance them, becomes concerned about their principal. An investor's principal is the savings, the maintenance of the savings in U.S. dollar denominated securities. But it gets worse.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much, much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.